Hi guys, welcome to
Blended Roots.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's another week and another episode. To start off this week's episode, Amber has an announcement to make about Samson.
He is now officially a registered emotional support animal because people, for some reason, found it weird that we took him to Walmart with us. And it's not weird. Samson he knows whenever I'm stressed out or anything like that. And he'll either come lay on me or he'll just kiss me, which he can give kisses. And it's weird, but I love them. But most commonly he'll just come and lay on my feet, which is great. So for anybody who has any questions about how to get your pet to be an emotional support animal, just drop a comment and I'll let you get. It's easy, it's free, and then you just pay for their certificate and stuff like that. So it's really simple, but Samson can now go everywhere that we go and no one can say anything.
Oh, which is awesome. The people at Walmart, by the way, at our local Walmart, absolutely love Samson. And they call him their mascot.
Yeah.
He's the Walmart mascot. By the way, if you want to see some video footage of that little trip to Walmart, she has a TikTok for Samson. It's Samson the Lamb on TikTok, so you can go check that out and see all of his adventures. Oh yeah, we can drop a link.
We can drop a link.
Oh, and tag it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
And then you can see all of his antics because he,
he's a fun little guy.
For being 2 months old, he's got the personality of a 3-year-old. So
he's
fun
I
times.
mean, in Samson years, he's a toddler. So
yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, how old is he?" I'm like, 2 months, and they're like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what a 2-month-old looks like."
Yeah.
But yeah, so he can go everywhere with us now. I'm
sad though that he is too big to sit on your lap in the car now.
Well, he would still sit on my lap. I'm pretty sure if I really wanted him to, but
Be like,
he's getting a little heavy, but I don't even care. Somebody once asked, if he's 200 pounds, would you still let him lay on you? And I'm like, yes, because I'm his mother. So
a 200-pound weighted blanket sounds amazing.
Yeah,
because like fleece, it's like
I know,
and it's like a blankie.
Yeah,
that sounds cool to me.
Yeah,
I'd let him cuddle me.
Yeah, I mean,
200 pounds.
Yeah, he's always going to be a cuddler. That's what I'm going to make him. It's fine. So
we are going to have to get some sort of outside arrangement set up for him soon, though.
Yes, because he escaped for outside again today.
Again.
So
it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
It only took 4 of us to catch him this time.
Yeah. Whenever I'm like, don't chase him, and my son still chases him, he runs. I'm like, don't do that.
No, you have to walk really slowly up to him, and then so I'm the one that actually caught him this time, and I just walked up to him real slow, and then you gotta pounce, and I just jumped on his back and was holding him I was getting ready to take him for a ride, but
and he was like, "Oh, she got me." I'm like,
got me.
She did. Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
But yeah, we will be working on an outdoor enclosure for him. He won't spend the nights or anything out there just because we do have wild animals, and he's a sheep, so they're pretty defenseless as far as that goes. So he will definitely not be outside full time.
No. But if anybody has any suggestions on some way for him to sleep inside at night, he's outgrowing his pack and play, and he's also real heavy to pick up and put in and get out of the pack and play. So any suggestions that you might have for sleeping arrangements for the baby?
It really hasn't been an issue until this week because I tore a ligament in my finger. Don't know how I did that. Pretty sure it was Samson. But it's really hard for me.
But not intentional.
No, not at all.
We're pretty sure
so for
her
me to
finger
pick him
was
up,
in the leash.
It hurts to lift him. So now my son has to do it every evening. And he doesn't really like that arrangement. He's like, Mom's supposed to put me to bed. But It's fine. It's fine. He'll be okay.
He was also not very happy that Olive got put in his bed because she had to go into timeout.
Yes,
he did not like someone else being in his bed. He didn't like it at all.
No, he had bedded it a couple of times, and I was like, "Yeah, sorry, buddy, you had to share."
It's okay. She needed to go in timeout, and that was the solution. Because we're still trying to teach Little Miss that she can't growl and
attack the other animals. Not like attack.
What's that word? Not lurch, like pounce.
Yeah,
I don't know what word I'm trying to think of, but like she to jump at them, and she does her little.
Yeah, it's very annoying. It's
Yeah.
probably the only annoying thing about her.
Otherwise, she's good.
Yeah,
it's just,
and it's not all the time. It's just like when she randomly decides that she just doesn't like him in that moment, like, yeah,
unprovoked. She just hop up and just, you know. Anyways, so by the time this episode goes up, it will be the day after Father's Day. So we thought we would kind of give you guys a look into what Mother's Day and Father's Day looked like in the past and what it looks like now for our family. You know, because now we have evolved to a point where we do consider all of the kids ours and we treat them all the same.
But we did have a custody order for a very long time, and technically that order is still on the books. We've never went and done anything about it.
Technically, it's still court ordered.
Technically, it is still court ordered. But I think that a lot of people have issues with like sharing their kids and getting along with the other parent, which I don't understand. So if you ever ask me what I think about a situation, I'm going to tell you. Chances are you're not going to like what I have to say, because you have to accept the fact that you now have to share. Now,
it's hard.
The first Christmas was the absolute hardest holiday I've ever had, ever. Like, I was in tears, and I'm not a crier. Like, I'm only, if I cry, I'm mad, and you should probably watch out. But,
yes,
you know, and my family was just like, well, you shouldn't even send them. Not everybody in my family. And I was like, I have to. I don't have a choice. Like, you know, and it wasn't that I didn't want him to see the kids. It's just, I didn't want him to share my kids with a different family. Which he couldn't the very first Christmas. He was not allowed. It was court ordered that Kim wasn't allowed to be around the kids. We did eventually, you know, work that out. But I did ask that she not be around the kids until they were older. Because you never know if it's going to work out. And I still think that to this day is that if you're dating somebody, you should wait.
Yeah.
Like, you should wait. Like, your kids don't need to meet them if you went out on a date with them. Like, you know. So I was the same way with the kids about, you know, I didn't want them to be introduced to these people and celebrate holidays with them and then them get ripped away because something didn't work out, because that happens. You know, was it selfish of me? Yeah, I don't really care though. Because you have to like get through it. You know, and it takes time, I think, to work through all of that. But
I mean, we had some rough holidays, and Mother's Day being one of the roughest that we had.
So we came up with on Father's Day, he would get them the night before, and he would get to keep them until 6:00 on Sunday. And then they would come back with me. We were not 50-50. So just letting you all know, back whenever we got divorced, I was custodial parent, and he did not get them 50-50. And I did fight for that, and I don't regret what I did. I don't. I wouldn't change it. Like, even looking back, like, I wouldn't change it. We needed that time to, like, you know, figure it all out, and, you know.
I mean, I think it was best for the kids too to have
we wanted
more
it
of a
to
constant. I mean, at the time, you know, being a young kid, I mean, I was 19 at the time. You know, of course, I'm like well, I don't understand why you're not allowed to see your kids. But
Back-
look on it, it really was better for them to have that consistent.
Yeah, kids have to have structure, and I just
They
didn't
do.
want it to not
And especially now having a biological child of my own, because obviously, you know, I loved your kids from the
Right.
beginning, but having a child in my house 24/7 was completely different
yeah,
than
it's-
when
it's
Randy's kids
different.
were coming over.
Yeah,
So it really opened my eyes to all of the things that really happened those years between us getting together and us having Bryson, because it just showed that just having a routine, having the constant, having just all of these decisions that you have to make for your kid, it is a little different. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, even though we do our very best to not treat the kids different, and we
Right.
do better now, being in the same household, it makes it a lot easier. But there is a little bit of a difference with your biological kids, and especially when you're the one that has
and it's
them
not that you
all the
intend
time.
for them to be a difference, but there just is. I
Yeah.
mean,
There's some things that you just have to be, you
Yeah.
know, because like you have to make the medical decisions, right?
right, which
Like-
anybody would want me to anyway, because even if it's Bryson, I still go. Bryson prefers whenever me and Kim
the
go.
moms.
Number one, Jeremy is a Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy is not a germaphobe, but he wouldn't.
Jeremy
know
just
was
doesn't know
going-
what to do.
He wouldn't have a clue. But Randy's a germaphobe.
Mhm.
So anytime that we're in the ER, the urgent care, he's like internal, like you can see the panic. But Kim could never make any decisions for my kids, just like I've not made any medical decisions for Bryson, but we all like weigh in on that. So there's just a whole level of respect that we have now that at first we wouldn't have. I wouldn't have asked. I would have been like, they're mine.
No, because I mean, you know, there's been days now where you know, you've had to take Bryson to the doctor for me, or you know, I've taken Ranan to the doctor for you, just because the other parent wasn't available. But back in the day, it was like, no, I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Because hell would have to freeze over before we would have let the other take the other's child
Yeah.
by themselves.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not, I don't think that there's any divorce in the situation that we had where she was the other woman. We had a question about that. Yes, she was the other woman. You know, we've never tried to hide that fact.
No. We told you guys we're an open book.
Yeah. So, you know, that situation was hard for us to navigate, and you don't want that other person like making those decisions. So it would still come into play even whenever, you know, we first started like getting along. I'd be like, no, you're not going to weigh in on what you think I should do with my children.
Yeah.
But it took time. You're not going to come out of a divorce and just be okay with each other. There are going to be things like, I'm sorry, as amicable as a divorce could be, you're still going to have problems. But we did the work, and it was rough.
It was hard work.
Yeah. But you have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah.
So we've had people ask, like, why? Why do you take it so far? We never intended on it going this far. We used to have this thing where we would be like, another new level, like, you know.
Yeah.
And finally I was just like, listen, like, you know, I've helped her get a bra on before. I got her up from surgery and was like, you've got to walk. Like, so, you know.
You took me to a procedure one time because Randy
Yes.
had to work.
Yes, and they thought that we were together. They were like, oh, you all, and I was like, no, she's married to my husband.
The
And they're
nurse
like-
even said, like, I think y'all are better
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, she did. She thought me and her were better together.
You know, it's kind of weird, though, because our relationship was kind of like we did have to date each other, kind of. Like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you look at it, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we had to get to know each other, and we had to find those boundaries, and, you know.
And you have to get over the things that annoy you about that person.
Mhm.
I know that I am a hard person to get along with. I'm extremely hard, and I know that, and I don't care. And she was hard to get along with just because she always wanted to please everybody. And I'm like, we don't do that. Like,
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah,
I still have a little bit of that.
but it would annoy me. Like,
but I'm getting better.
Annoyed me that she wanted like everybody to be happy like all the time. I'm like, stop it. Like, it's not a picture perfect life. But we did still want to have our kids at those special like holidays, you know, because he deserves to have his kids on Father's Day. I deserve to have my kid on Mother's Day. Now, when they had Bryson, it got it was hard to work that
around. A
little
more complicated.
So my family, how we do those holidays is, and now Kim is just part of that family because we no longer have another side that we have to accommodate, and that made it worse. But we always like ask, like, Mom, Dad, like, what do you want? And they're like, nothing. And, you know, and you're like, okay, we have to get you something. We've never went out to eat for any major holiday because none of us like crowds and none of us like to wait. We're just not good at it. We know. My dad would rather us cook him a steak at home than him go get one. Like, he would just rather. So we always ask the dads, now that we have multiples, you know, what do you all want? So they get to decide exactly what meal they want. For Mother's Day, the moms get to decide the meals, but I will still cook those meals. Used to, my sister would on Mother's Day because she didn't have any children.
Oh my gosh.
She would, and the kids would always make Mother's Day.
Oh my gosh, it was so cute. One year, like, they had all the tables set up in the basement, and like they served us, and there was like
it was Valentine's. They did that for Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so cute. Like they served us, and they loved being like little waiters, and they were like bringing us food, and they had like a towel over their arm, and like, would you like another drink?
Yeah, and that was before we had Bryson, but we didn't have the other two boys. So we always just celebrate at home. Used to, we would celebrate at my mom's house, but my sister has now moved into my mom's house, and she has moved into her smaller other home.
But we also have the most people to have to try to tote around. I mean, honestly,
so
it just makes sense for people.
Now they come here, and we will cook, and then, you know, we'll give the dads their gifts. It's honestly not about the presents, because none of the guys like need anything or want anything. None of us moms need anything or want anything, but we really want family time. So us just being at home with each other, that's what we do for every holiday. Prior, I would have to, you know, be like, okay, well, I'm going to meet you in Olive Hill because Kim's family lived out in the middle of nowhere and he wasn't going to make it home in time, and he didn't want the kids' schedule to be off, and I wasn't bound to let him have him a minute more than they were supposed to. But I'll meet you so you get more time with them. But that was all I was willing to give. I mean, I will drive to you.
Honestly, my Christmas was terrible. Honestly, I never got to enjoy Christmas because we were going. It was 3 different places, but 4 times, because we would start at your mom's house. I would go to both of my grandparents' house and then come back to your mom's house for dinner. And the kids, they told me after everything kind of went down with my family and we had our first Christmas that was just us.
It was COVID, because all of this started years ago, but with COVID, I will never forget. I think it was a text message, and she said, "This has been the best holiday we've ever had." I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to please 1,000 people, because her family at that time would get offended if like my kids weren't there. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, my kids can't be at every 4th of July. We rotated.
Or they would get offended if
she chose to be with us,
to be with my kids, instead of with my family, and they didn't understand that my priority at that time. Well, my priority now is the family that I created, not the family that I came from, and they don't see it that way.
No.
That's what made it so hard.
And we can do a whole episode on that, because trust me,
there's a lot.
And
we can unpack the whole thing.
Yeah. but they have never understood why we do what we do. Well, we're not doing it for your approval. We're not doing it for anyone's approval. And I don't think that this is right for everyone. We took it way further than we ever
anticipated.
Because at night, we'll be like sitting in there and we watch, like all the parents will watch like a show together, and the older kids sometimes. So right now we're watching Sopranos, and like we'll just have like a moment, and I'll just be like sitting there and I'll be like, we have a sheep on the ottoman. My ex-husband is one seat away from me. His wife's right over there. And, you know, my husband's in between, and my son's sitting over there. And, like, you never expected that that's going to be your norm.
No.
But also, nothing has ever been strange about it. So I don't think that anybody, like, has to do what we do. But I think that you at least have to be open to you will have to respect each other and get to a spot where everybody can be happy, because I don't understand when people fight so hardcore. I'm like, you will have a custody order. Follow it. If you don't like it, then there's ways to fix that. But you also need to realize that your kids, it's not affecting what you're doing affects your kids. So, you know.
But also using your kids
as a
to try to hurt the other person. Yeah,
they're not
like listen, your kids, our kids, sorry, I'm getting on my pedestal here. Our kids didn't ask for the divorce.
No.
Our kids didn't ask to come from a broken home.
No.
So,
and now it's not really such a broken home to them.
Now it's just amazing. But but at no point should they ever have to be stuck in the middle because of mistakes that the parents made.
Yeah, it's not their fault that you all didn't work out.
And listen, I can't say that we were perfect when we were first going through all of this either.
Oh, no. No, and I will tell you.
We have learned a lot about family.
Yeah.
From all of this.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is, like, family time is, like, the absolute most important thing for me. My husband came from a family who doesn't get together. They don't do things together. And I'm like, that's what's important to me, because those memories, I have memories of like my mama and even my great grandfather. I still remember things about him because we had that family time, like, you know, and it was important to me for my kids to have that too. And when we were fighting and like, even with the custody stuff, you know, and just shipping them all back and forth, like, I just hated that my kids weren't getting that.
'Cause traditions are super important to you.
Yes, they really are. And it's stupid that they're that important, but they just are.
I mean, but you're right, though, because that's what the kids remember.
Yeah.
You know, because one of the things that we have said for several years now is that it doesn't matter what stuff, it doesn't matter what stuff the kids have. It's the memories and the experiences that they're going to remember.
Yeah. So that's honestly like that is what is most important to me. That's always been what was most important to me, because I didn't want the kids to have to do different things on Christmas morning. By the way, Christmas morning was always mine. I did fight for that, and I did win. So Randy never got a Christmas morning with his
until
kids.
We started doing things together.
No. And was that mean of me? Yes. Also, do I care? Not so much, because I was selfish like that.
Was it? Did we do any Christmases together prior to Bryson?
No.
I didn't think so, because I remember Bryson wearing like a Santa hat that said First Christmas on it.
Yeah, no, we
And
didn't.
you had bought the kids all matching pajamas.
Yes, I've always bought my kids matching pajamas that they open up on Christmas Eve, and then they wear them like all day. Like all evening, all day Christmas Day. And whenever we got divorced, it kind of broke that tradition because my kids had to get up and get dressed. And, you know, we had to change our Christmas morning. My dad he always makes waffles every Christmas morning.
Still does.
And he will do it. And then we will continue doing that once he's gone. Hopefully that is nowhere.
A long time.
Nowhere anytime soon.
I can't think about that.
But like that's, you know, and my kids know that. They were like, no, we know we're having waffles. Like there's not, you know, we know that for Christmas dinner, we're not getting served a ham. We're going to have steak or fondue. That was a terrible Christmas
or
that
seafood.
We did that.
Oh my God. Fondue just flopped. I don't know what the deal was.
I don't know. But we always do like seafood, like whatever. And my kids like now know that. They're like, we don't have to. If I tell my mom that I want, to do Indian food for Christmas, like that's what we're going to do. Because it doesn't matter to me about what meal you have. It matters that you have it together. So, yeah. And it was really hard. Like, whenever.
I mean, nowadays, we literally spend all day together.
All day.
Like, the only holiday...
Sometimes we'll come home, like last year we had to come home so I could, like, pick up stuff, like...
Oh, yeah, like food and stuff, yeah.
Food and stuff, just because, let's face it, even though my mom has a huge kitchen in her basement, and another refrigerator and stuff upstairs, and then they have one in their other house, it's still, when you're cooking for as many people, we have 3 refrigerators here, so there's just not room to store all of that, or to cook it all at the same time. So I'll cook stuff here and then we'll come back like after. But the kids, they're sitting there and they're playing with their stuff, or they're taking a nap. Like, they don't have to get up and worry about going to the next.
I mean, I'll be honest, it kind of broke me. I guess not broke me, but it made me realize that what was it, 2 Christmases ago, I guess, was the first one, after
almost 3, but yeah.
But the kids, the older kids, Kaylin and Rhiannon, they were like, I'm so glad that we don't have to run all over the face of the earth today. And like, I knew that it sucked for me, I hated doing that, but I don't know. I knew that they were having to go with us all over the place, but I guess it never really hit me that they didn't care for doing it.
Yeah.
Until they said it.
But the kids would never say anything either. So we did at least raise good kids that they're going to sit there and they're going to go through it. Like my daughter, she's like, fine, it's a tradition and I'm going to do it. Someday she's going to remember it and love it, and that's okay. But I'm glad that our kids don't have to share households. We don't have to ship them back and forth 5 different places. Like, they just get their stuff and they get to sit there and enjoy it instead of having to go other places.
Yeah.
I still understand that people have to do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. We prefer this.
I mean, we even tried, though, when we did start getting along.
Yes.
We did try to
invite your family.
Yeah.
And they refused.
And
my husband's family refused.
They came like 1, maybe 2 times to Christmas, and they
I don't know.
They didn't feel welcome or something like that. I was
like, you've whatever. Been like, if anybody who knows my family, they're very welcoming. Like,
Mom's going to talk your ear off, no matter who you are. She could talk to a brick wall.
Yeah.
And it might actually talk back to her.
Yeah. She's, but that's, we're not saying that everybody should do what we do, but like, you should at least take into account, how it affects your kids, and like, just try to do the best that you can for them. And we're not sharing our story because we think that people should be like us. If you get anything from us, like one little tiny thing, then that's worth it for us.
Even if the inspiration is just to do a little better.
Yeah.
Work at getting along with your ex. Just because your marriage didn't work doesn't always mean that a co-parentship is not going to work. Parentship? Is parentship a word? Co-parenting? Co-parent relationship? Maybe that's what I was going for.
Maybe. I don't know.
Doesn't mean that your co-parent relationship doesn't have to work. Yeah. Because remember that in the end, it's for your kids.
Because if you would die for them, you can get along for them. I promise you can. Even if that person did horrible things to you, obviously there are some that, no, they shouldn't see their kids at all. There are those instances, and I understand that. But if it's just a simple, you all didn't work out because you all just didn't work out, that's okay. But you can still get along for them. Like, kids need that. So I just wish that more people would at least, think a little harder whenever they are like trying to put one kid against a parent. That's not okay. And we never did that. Even during, like, yes, I was mean about the holidays that I wanted and the times and who I wanted around my children. but I never talked bad about my ex-husband to their dad. Did they overhear things? Turns out years later, yes, they did.
Maybe so.
They were nosy, and that's fine. But I never like went to them and I was like, you're not going to like her. You're going to hate her. You just go and act up, so they'll just send you home.
Yeah, right.
And I know people who have done that.
Like, don't.
And that's not okay.
It's not. Like, your kids should not have to be put in the middle of that. It's already hard enough for them in most cases, that they are going back and forth from home to home and their parents are no longer together. It's hard enough already.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you shouldn't be making it harder for your kids. You should be trying to make it better for them.
Yeah. Just don't use your kids like little, chess pieces. They're not. But yeah, if anybody can get at least like one thing from us, like that makes it completely worth it for us. But if you have any questions, definitely let us know what those are and we will answer any of them. We have had a few, and we have answered those. So, just feel free, but just, think about your kids and like what you can do to make like the holidays easier for them,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys.
And now we're going to go back to cooking for tomorrow.
Yeah, for Father's Day and for dinner, because Randy has D&D tonight.
Yeah.
But I know that this was a little more of a serious episode, but we really wanted to talk more about why we do what we do, even if it's not right for everybody. So that's our story, and thanks for listening. Bye.
Come back next week and hang out with the moms
on another episode of
Blended Roots.